Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back to the show, everybody. We've had a first. We have sent Derek Myers to the penalty box, where he'll be serving a 20-minute major infraction. And I'm not sure if he's even going to get back. You go ahead.
Yeah, he
out. Broke the microphone, kicking it. What happened to you today?
I don't know.
Somebody put something in your coffee?
I think so. I had this caliber stuff. It got me fucked up.
He's going to sit there and feel shame. And judging by his red face, I can tell he feels shame.
Speaking of a 20-minute timeout in the penalty box, he's got to do it without a cell phone.
Let's go through it. Left his phone on the coffee table here. Just regarding the program and going to Game Plus television and my comparing it to The View, which it really gets people worked up when I compare it to The View every time. Have you noticed that? Can you put that comment up on the screen from Denise Woznezensky, Peter? It just slipped off. Here it is. Denise says, I don't turn into The View at work. I don't tune into The View at work, but I always tune in this show. Keep up the great work. I think daytime television is very underrated.
Yeah, I do too.
Who was Montel Williams? Who was Sally Jesse Raphael? Who was Oprah before daytime television?
Yeah.
And there's been nothing in Canadian sports in the morning forever.
Right. And now to be able to put it here.
Who was Phil Donahue? Sorry.
Yeah. No,
continue.
It's true. It's super interesting. And
who was Ricky Lake?
And then they're going to say, who was Rod Pedersen?
Right.
No, they won't, because you built your career before that. But, with social media, everybody's onto the short, bite-sized pieces of content, and anybody can create content and become viral, but we all have jobs. So you're creating it outside your jobs. Who's going to create that, morning, daytime TV, social media thing? We are.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I think it's very exciting. I would say, who was Geraldo Rivera? But he was a big deal before Geraldo. People are asking our thoughts on what the CFL will do. Hang on. What the CFL will do with the coronavirus. Boys and girls, I expect that it's going to be snuffed out by May. That's the word that I'm getting from government officials. Man, this panic is getting a little annoying. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen when? What's going to happen when? What's going to happen when? How about with what's being done now? Is that fair?
It's fair. It's fair.
Guy wrote us yesterday from the Moncton Wildcats podcast, and I think it's a fair question. But he's like, are they going to cancel the Memorial Cup?
Yeah.
Because of coronavirus. I'm like, dude, that's 2 months away.
And
it's not spreading like wildfire. When they're quarantining people that have the virus, there's a reason for that. It's so it doesn't spread. Precautions are being taken. So to talk about what's going to happen in May, I think is a worthless conversation.
Mm-hmm. And they're not going to make that decision now anyway. I know people are making travel plans and whatnot, but they'll make that decision as last minute as possible. They'll wait as long as possible.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that they're going to shut down Western Hockey League playoffs and OHL playoffs and things like that. It's kind of almost has to be on a team-by-team basis. Are you comfortable going? And actually, it's funny that question was asked to me now because, I've got family who had a cruise planned and somebody else had a trip planned. And, are we going? Are we not going? And some people have canceled it. And they're offering refunds or credits. They're offering credits to go at a later date. But it was asked because if people aren't traveling, the travel is going to be cheaper, right? It's going to be cheaper to go because nobody really wants to go and they want to fill the planes and go. If you got offered this cheap trip on a cruise or overseas, would you go?
I got an email from WestJet last night because I'm obviously a frequent WestJet traveler, and it said all the precautions they're taking, which includes cleaning and sanitizing more thoroughly than they had. Not that I thought it was a problem before, but they're cleaning more thoroughly. And they said if you have an international flight planned in the next 2 months, rethink it, right? And actually, we were planning to go to Phoenix in a couple weeks. I would say we've rethought it and probably aren't going to go. So These are all preventative measures. The thing that disturbs me the most, have you seen the government statements on how to prevent yourself from getting the coronavirus? Wash your hands with soap and water?
Yeah.
Like this is groundbreaking new tactics? But it's the truth. Go sit in a bathroom stall. And no, don't sit on it. Stand in a bathroom stall and just watch the amount of people that come through.
Yeah.
Perform a bodily function and leave.
I know.
It's like people are shocked that the majority of people don't wash their hands after performing bodily functions. Like, wow. By the way, did you have a comment on that before I move on? Do you?
I know. I'm
You're
good.
just as disgusted as I am.
Well, I know, but then I think back to being in Houston on my hands and knees in that airport bathroom, puking my guts out.
Yeah.
And the last thing on my mind was getting more sick, or picking up a virus, right? But yeah, I washed my hands after that, though.
Everybody's chiming in. Everything is happening. John Kirby writes in, he says, thoughts on empty arenas in the NBA, NHL, MLB, WHL? The Blades game March 18th is bring your own toilet paper night. He's joking about that, isn't he?
If not, that'd be hilarious.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you said there was going to be toilet paper stacked up on my desk today. You forgot. You got called for breakfast with Les and Phil and you forgot. It's all good. What do I think about it? It's happened before. We all remember that. Was it not in Baltimore that they did that? Derek, you can come slide in. The penalty's over. They've killed off the power play.
On the fly.
There it is. The Derek Myers walk-on.
I don't touch anything here.
Okay. What you made? Just about broke it
I
again.
just about broke the chair this time.
What do I think about it? They're going to do what they have to do. Why was the reason in Baltimore? That was a virus, was it not? That was some sort of disease, was it not? And if you've looked at Orioles attendance over the last few years, you really couldn't tell the difference.
When it wasn't the shooter.
From Michael Gregory, he says, how long do we have to stand in the bathroom? Michael's watching in New Orleans. Watch for as long as it takes to realize that over 50% of people don't wash their hands when using the facilities. So maybe this is actually a good thing. Like a lot of tragedies, it wakes people up to what needs to happen in the future. Now, I'm done with coronavirus and pooping and bring your own toilet paper.
It was the riots in Baltimore in the wake of the violent disorder in the city after the funeral of Freddie Gray, 25-year-old black man who died after being injured while in police custody. So they were rioting like crazy, and so they...
Jason in Red Deer says,
They've done it.
I've touched handrails in Vegas and survived, so I should be okay. Listen, don't taunt fate. That's why I wear rubber gloves in the gym every morning. I swear to God.
You wore your flip-flops.
I've contracted viruses in the gym. I wear rubber gloves at my doctor's orders. So listen, don't be running your tongue down the rail of the Vegas escalator. Like, don't taunt it, man.
The 2010
Take precautions. You're the kind of guy that's going to get the virus and maybe die.
The 2010 Grey Cup. Leave it there.
Where was in Edmonton?
Yeah.
What happened there?
Birthday.
Whose birthday? Oh, yeah, that didn't involve me, though. That didn't involve me. I watched a guy.
That is a meme waiting to happen, that reaction.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, it was a guy's birthday. We're not going to name him. And he climbed to the top of a stripper pole and slid his tongue all the way down the pole. And... I know. And the bar manager, we were all there, it was our buddy, brought him out a shooter for doing that. And I said to the server, I hope that's turpentine.
That's exactly what you said.
As the Army guys say, I say a lot of times my misspent youth comes up. And the Army guy said, if that's how you spent your youth, you didn't misspend it. Can we go to Riders? How did this get so off the rails?
We can talk Riders because they were in the 2010 Grey Cup.
Right.
And it was a year that they had a good
nice
team.
Segue.
And,
you're really working yourself back into our good graces.
I'm trying to.
He's playing guilty.
All the
playing guilty, yeah.
the Rider fans, we know they're all watching every day. And they're just waiting for us to talk about the Riders. And today we are. And it all just came because of one of our sponsors, quite frankly, said to us yesterday he's concerned about the Riders because they're not a super team. Anonymous texter writes in on the Prairie Mobile text line. He says, I want to agree that we have the quarterback, but he hasn't really won anything. It's anonymous texter on the Prairie Mobile text line. Well, the definition of faith is believing in something despite having no proof that it's there. You don't have to believe in Cody Fajardo, but I want to believe in Cody Fajardo. Everybody wants a guarantee. You said it best. You're just not going to get it.
It's not happening. It's not happening. You have to be okay taking on some risk if you want great reward. Nothing great comes easy. It doesn't. So if you want, the greatness, if you want to win a Grey Cup, if you want to put yourself out there to do great things, then you have to assume some risk. You have to take a chance, right? What does it mean to jump off and, just into a net? It's like the trapeze, right? Walking across a tightrope. It doesn't mean much to a fan when there's a net 5 feet below it.
And I mean, it's a cliche and it's an old saying. There's only two things in life that are certain: death and taxes. I mean, come on, folks. You're a sports fan. That's what makes sports great, is the unpredictability.
They all want the guarantee.
Vegas was built on it, boys and girls.
And
Chance.
it feels so much better when you come across and you win.
Yeah.
Right? When you cheat death across that tightrope and you get up to the other side. It feels so much better. You've accomplished something. But everybody wants to have it guaranteed and earmarked that we're going to win and we're going to be there. And I'm only buying a Grey Cup ticket if I know we're going to be there.
Ken in Saskatoon's watching. He writes in on the Prairie Mobile text line, you would never hear a stripper pole story on The View. Way to go. That's from Ken in Saskatoon. From Chad in Yorkton. What most people don't think about is that we signed most of our team from last year, and continuity year to year creates chemistry. Fajardo was tossing passes this offseason with some of his receivers already getting that chemistry.
Who is this guy? Who's
Chad from Yorkton.
Smart guy.
Listens every day.
And I applaud that.
Because they're having non-sanctioned workouts in the offseason?
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Continue. I'm sorry.
Although it was his first pass at the Rush game. Wasn't that the first time he had thrown in the offseason, I think he said?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he is right. Continuity is a very key thing. The New England Patriots have been great for so long because they have continuity at the head coaching position. They have continuity at the quarterbacking position. They do lose coordinators and things like that, but continuity is a massive thing. There's a reason Wally Bono was successful for a long time. Continuity. I agree with him. And they're just getting started in that sense. This is still just kind of out of the womb, this whole relationship. Cody Fajardo was just a starter this year, kind of by chance a little bit. Craig Dickinson, first time around as a head coach. Continuity is just beginning for this team. But yeah, I agree that they should, as you said, Dupes, take a step forward.
Mm-hmm. That's the progression that they're moving on.
Should be one and then two back, like the Oilers.
That's why we're all comfortable with where this team's at right now, right? And why we are, believing in Craig Dickinson's plan and Jeremy O'Day's plan, that this team was really good. They didn't have to do anything, but just make sure they got their pieces back, and I think they did that for the most part.
John Kirby in Edmonton's watching today. Edmonton, our third highest city for viewership, says, why does Edmonton's Rogers Place not let people in with cowbells and noisemakers, but other WHL arenas let them in? Well, John, we don't know. Ask them. From Chris Cooper in Southern Ontario. I'm excited to go to Touchdown Atlantic. I've got my tickets. Sadly, can't afford $900 a night for a hotel room in Regina, so we won't be going to Grey Cup. Maybe in the 90 seconds we have left in hour one, we can settle on that for a second.
Stay tuned. They're going to be opening more.
You need to make a choice now. Oh, man. Now we're getting into my favorite topic. It's sales in sports. It's marketing. Fans are now making a choice with their money. Maybe it's because of the economy that we're in right now. I'm not sure. I don't think teams realize you need to be out front pounding your chest. Spend money on me. Spend money on me. Campaigning for yourself. This $900 a night for a hotel room in Regina is obviously outrageous. Somehow they're getting away with it. It's not something that obviously affects me. I don't need a hotel room in Regina at Grey Cup of 2020, so I don't know. How wrong is it, do you think?
Well, I don't think it's wrong. It's business, right? I mean, it's supply and demand. But for me, and I would think you're in the same boat if you're coming in from out of town. We're guys who enjoy our windshield time. We're guys who aren't afraid to get in the car and drive. It's no big deal for us to drive to Saskatoon for a game and then turn around and come back. So, I mean, if I'm coming in from out of town, I'm staying in Weyburn. I'm staying even in Yorkton. Maybe Saskatoon, which is a little bit far, but I'm staying in those places.
Moose Jaw.
That's a long way to go after Ryderville.
Moose Jaw for sure, but I'm so much into this that I'm assuming Moose Jaw is sold out too. And it's for me, you get in the morning, you zip in an hour with your coffee, and you're listening to the morning radio, talking about the game and what's going on, listening to this show, zip into the city, do all your stuff, hit the mall, hit the coffee, hit whatever, and then hit the Grey Cup Festival all day and go home at the end of the night. Like, to me, Saskatchewan's so open, it's so accessible to get around the province that, to me, it's no big deal.
I might rent out my
else.
basement for $500 a night.
Airbnb.
We'll make this like the barracks. We'll put the cots up.
Yeah.
This will be like
take out Paul's chair.
Parties every night.
when they have the emergency, state of emergency, and they start filling places with cots. Well, people lined out the.
Okay, so we
Huddle up in
need
Saskatchewan.
to break. Derek, are you staying an hour too?
Sure.
Amanda
Why not?
Ruler will join us. John Heaps writes in, look at the last comment on the Facebook wall. Pouring rain in Scottsdale.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Thank you for the weather report. Well, did we become the Weather Network?
Why not?
Right after
people
you were the
listen
View.
all over the world.
Yeah. Amanda Ruler next hour, and our NFL insider, Tori Gurley. We'll try to get this back on the rails. It's episode 190 of Canada's only live morning sports show. Rod Pedersen Show continues after the break on Facebook Live, and listen live at rodpeterson.com.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.